Well, it's all right. This is not very playable. Okay. Hello everyone. So almost 2 years ago, my friend gave me this little tablet to use with, well, to play around with, but to also use with the APC Symmetra LX battery backup, and worked pretty well for that. I also used it for a few other things, viewing PDFs of repair manuals, and I tried a few other things along past that. It's not exactly great. It sat in a box for a few months of that year and a half, year and 3/4. Now the RoboProg IS software works really fast. You can install it super fast on Windows XP, Windows 7 and all that. Windows 10 took a while to install on. So this, I say, is a good use for any of those old Windows 7 things that you have. So I have the updated serial number for this pack, so it's not overlapping. So we have 1967, so 1973. Okay, so let's change that to a 67. So we have 1967, 1967. It should be good, and it should be correct. Right. See what it did. But a month ago, the downpour, the roof failure really happened in my new repair shop, and so this got waterlogged. Wow. Okay, well, I should have come in here, but I was busy with the other building. Thanks for noticing the red light.
Yeah, you had it tucked under your arm, and I was like, what?
Yeah, I guess it was on. And I opened it up, and while I was focusing on the roof, which is still not done, we're hoping maybe in a few days it'll get done, but we'll see. This has been in our kitchen drying out, and it'll be an interesting little look at a tablet, a Fujitsu tablet from 2012 that's still, it's about good enough. You know, if you were to send this, which I'm actually planning to, I'm hoping to get another one of these and send it to Gabe at Save It for Parts. And my words aren't coming out of my head quite right. And I bet he could run with GQRX or whatever on here pretty easily. I opened it up, and we have the battery, which is still good. We have the front touch panel area. We have the back housing. We have this with the heat pipe. And look at that, there's actually 2 slots for an M.2. I believe it's an M.2. It comes with a 64 gigabyte Hynix SSD in it. I haven't been in the spirit to really be repairing things because I walk into the workshop and everything's covered in plastic and water is running everywhere, and it makes me sad. But you know what? I should do more stuff at home now that I have basically an entire week off because it's just constantly raining, which funnily enough does add to the bad feeling because it's raining inside the building, but oh well. It's funny, this actually started turning back on whenever I kept trying to turn it off because it was waterlogged. And when I opened it up, I don't have a clip of that, but boy was it waterlogged. It was water all in here. Now I left this open like that. So we have a fingerprint scanner with an SD card reader, which I've been able to use for a few things. We have USB, HDMI, headphone jack, little CMOS battery. Now when I put this down, I figure this will be the last time putting it down. It's like it's not going down all the way. Does it truly need to go in first? It does. Oh, wow. So this is such a narrow opening that it has to go in first on this side and then be pushed down. That is awkward. Very tight tolerances. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 screws that hold the main board in. Then we have the antenna connector, the backlight connector, the LCD connector, and then we have to put these little speakers in. Let's get, well, first of all, let's get this under here. Let's use a little Eleclive microscope. What? No. Okay, looks right. Actually a pretty big connector, truth be told. And this one goes in here. And that holds that connector. All right, and then let's see this. Oh yeah, I don't have tweezers, I forgot. My tweezers finally died. That. I am remembering though that I can move the microscope. Look at that. Beautiful. And now this is a tool that I paid for with Patreon money, a PV Swiss screwdriver. These, I've been really enjoying these. They're only like $10 each. So I had one of the landlords that I fixed buildings for. They gave me a whole kit made by PV Swiss. And I felt it was just missing a few screwdrivers. So I got 2 little Phillips head ones and I swapped out the medium-sized Phillips head screwdriver for this flathead, and then I took the tiniest screwdriver and coupled it with this, so this can be on my desk, and the kit can be the one that I have to go on the prowl to fix HVAC equipment or whatever. Now we have this. This is pretty heavy. Oh, that's not the LCD. That's for the side buttons. And that's not the backlight, that's, I don't know what that is. I have no idea what that connects to. Oh, it's the camera. Right. So there's two cameras on this. There's a front-facing camera and a back-facing camera. That's interesting. Okay, well. It looks like I may have messed up with this. And this possibly goes underneath. And put it underneath. Yeah. Seems like it. Then I'll tighten this one. Put the screw back in. Oh. Okay, that seems correct. Then see, that goes onto there like so. This would probably be a more difficult ribbon cable to put into, so do that. And then this goes down like so. I think the hooks are down there. Before I close it up though, let's turn it on and see, does it seem to have anything going for it? Oh, there we go. Okay, so the real-time clock failed. And I believe... Oh, wow, this is fancy. I did not expect this to be touch capable. Yeah, this might be something worthy to send as a gift. But my question is, can it play Ion Fury? Okay, that's all back together now. Well, guys, I took a nap. I got up, got on my keyboard, mouse, and the little USB hub that I got specifically for this. And we have my Good Old Games version of Ion Fury on here. But I do not have the charger. So we're going to have to see how much power do we have on this from the one charge that I gave it before it got wet. Ooh. That oftentimes sounds like that. It's detecting the mouse and keyboard. I believe the lights on my keyboard take about 2 watts of power. Installing device driver software. You know, one thing that I like about this is RebelProg. It installs much, much quicker. Okay. It's already running, whatever. So this, on Windows 10, it takes forever, like 30 minutes to install the drivers, because Windows is weird. And that's some program that... This is actually a development machine for some company, and so it still has that software on it. I've just left that software in case my friend needs it back. But for doing hexadecimal programming for the Symmetra LX system, this is working great. You know, the touchscreen isn't perfect, but still, that's better than a Panasonic Toughbook CFU1. And then I also have a little widget running, whatever that little gadget, maybe that's what it's called. But do you remember these things? Windows 7 used to have all sorts of stuff like this. What's funny is I only really started using them the year before I switched to Windows 10. I was always against that stuff, which is kind of funny. Yeah, I got Blender 2.49 on here, but I believe that the GPU doesn't work very well. So let's go to Documents, paste. Can we install Ion Fury? Yes. Does not meet the requirements. No, I do not want to cancel. Okay, well, it's still canceled. This is a 64-bit tablet running 32-bit Windows. Oh! Okay, yes, I read. Yes, install. Oh, so it didn't, it's already done. Okay, cool. So Blender 2.49 works on this. I don't think I have any, no, I don't have any files on here. 2.49 is a little bit too outdated though, even for me. 2.79 is better. Let's see, does Ion Fury work? Well, there's no quick launch. Those are definitely not Ion Fury. Okay, the launcher doesn't like it. It didn't install any of the files except for the uninstall file. But let's see. Can we just copy the files over? It's Windows 7. It should just run fine. Okay, so it is a 32-bit. Well, is it a 64-bit processor, though? Okay, so it's 32-bit operating system. Okay, let's get eDuke 32. Taking out the flash drive, so no extra power being pulled. The application has requested the runtime to terminate it in an unusual way. Please contact the application support team for more information. Microsoft Visual C++ runtime library. Okay. And the scroll wheel doesn't work. Classic. Why is it always like this with tablets? This is just the way of the tablet. Let's try software rendering. Well, it's all right. This is not very playable.
You're lucky I can't fit a grenade launcher in my bag.
Ooh, you can even tell the lag is bad. Close window. Close window. Okay. Nuke it from orbit. Oh my gosh. Okay, you can't end it there. Change task and now. Oh my gosh, okay. This computer is not happy. You know, the real annoying thing about having to troubleshoot this with my other computer is that I'm using my main mouse and keyboard. So I have to bring the whole thing over and sit down and figure it out, put it on the flash drive, and move everything back over. For those of you who are curious, this is the Fujitsu Stylistic Q552 Slate PC. That's interesting, they call it a Slate PC. There is a bunch of the information at an N2600 processor. Basically no information about graphics at all. It has no graphics. Let's try updating the chipset drivers. Looks like my ThinkPad power adapter will work, but that is the worst placement for a power adapter, at least for this type of use. I get it. This is probably meant to sit in something and not actually be used, but I'm installing, oh no. I'm installing, well, at least it should be installing the new chipset drivers. These are from 2014, so moving up a few years. Well, isn't that just a very common story with tablets? This computer does not meet the minimum requirements for its own software. Wait a minute. We're on Wi-Fi. I didn't know I said this on. You know what? Fine. Update the drivers. Or not. Okay. Intel Graphics Media Accelerator 3600 series. Driver version 8.14.8.1082 from 2012. Rollback driver. Sure. Fuck it. Let's just see what happens. Oh, okay. Wow, look at that. Okay, we're getting something. So this should be software rendering. Ew. Oh, that's terrible. Trying to get down to quit. It's not registering button presses. Okay. $800 by $600 OpenGL, perhaps? Now, one issue with this is that the older driver does not recognize the native 1280 by 800 resolution. So we're stuck at 1024 by 768, if I recall right. It's probably still going to be extra crunchy. Oh, yeah. Let this have some time to do its thing.
You're lucky I can't fit a grenade launcher in my bag.
Okay. You know what's interesting is the CPU, it's perfectly fine. But you have to hold down each button for like half a second or even a full second sometimes. Windows has successfully updated your driver software. 8.14.8. I wonder what version we were on before. So it was the same exact version. Let's see if maybe it was installed differently. I've also gone through and I turned off the internet. Okay. That's similar. Because whenever you have the internet on, it just, everything gets absolutely destroyed. Oh, there's only OpenGL now. Interesting. I don't know what Polymer is, so I just gave that a shot. So apparently this version of the Intel Atom processor had a PowerVR SGX 454, which was a cell phone graphics driver. And they just wrote a really half-assed driver, refused to make a 64-bit driver. And apparently, after a while, Intel kept putting this integrated graphics chip into computers. But because PowerVR wasn't supporting it, they just threw in the Intel generic graphics driver. So going with the official PowerVR Intel driver is worse. So how do I force this version of Windows 7 to go with a better version of the generic display adapter driver? I don't know that. That's a new problem for me. This is a strange problem to have. Whenever you search anything about updating the generic graphics driver, it assumes that you're wanting the dedicated graphics driver or the OEM or manufacturer graphics driver, the specific one to a specific machine. But what I want to do is I want to take the generic graphics display adapter driver from Windows 7 and swap it with the newer generic graphics display adapter driver from Windows 10 or something. And I don't know how to search for that because Google is dead, search is dead, but also everybody only seems to talk about updating from generic to specific. But no, I want to go from generic to better generic. That's a weird problem to have. And apparently there were some homebrew drivers for this chipset because people got so upset they made their homebrew drivers, and the only remnants of that now is forum posts of people upset that everything was going to a Google Drive link and the Google Drive accounts got deleted. So this is a case where people did not document their work properly. They didn't put it on Internet Archive or have a dedicated website. They had a dedicated website linking to Google Drive. If you're going to have a dedicated website, have it saved on the website. Have a FTP thing or whatever. Well, guys, I've spent the entire evening on this, and it's actually 10 o'clock. But I think I'm done. I've been trying to install all sorts of drivers. I've been trying to trick it into installing at least one of them, even to kill the thing. But I can't get it to even kill itself because it appears that this thing really only would work if there was a Fujitsu driver, or you can revert to nothing. I don't know how. How do I get a better generic driver, or do I get the the GMA 3600 driver to work on this that was designed for the GMA 3600? Because I found a driver that had it was like supposed to be the main update driver for the GMA 3600, and it doesn't work with it because they have something odd going on. The only option really is to install, apparently Linux doesn't really work too well on this, but apparently an option is to install Windows 10, which, really? To make matters worse, this thing just refuses to charge. but yet the power doesn't go down. I turn it off, I let it sit for a long time, and it doesn't gain any percentage. So I don't know what it's doing with this. Well, that's a look after 2 years of using this Fujitsu tablet. It does work well for hex editing, and it does, well, not well, but why do Windows tablets gotta suck so much? And tablets, Android tablets, Windows tablets, it's like the industry just gave up after 2013. So we're stuck with these tablets that have a really crappy Intel Atom that the company that made it never made a driver for it. It's so infuriating. They made a half-assed attempt that was worse than the generic driver. I don't get it. How was so much money spent on this stuff? You go to hospitals and they have $10 million pieces of software that were designed for these, and they're running at 1 FPS because it's shit. Man, this is such a shame, because I've seen a few people that had laptops, like Dell laptops, that had the same graphics driver, and they were able to get that graphics driver to run, and they're getting 55 FPS in a lot of vintage games. It's so frustrating. I'm just going to call it there before I smash this thing.